Superliminal. A game that makes you feel like you've taken some hard drugs and been taken somewhere to just experience them. A puzzling puzzle game that confuses and bewilders me, even after playing through it a good 4 times now. Anyway, my name is Ruben, and I've changed my channel a bit. Now I'm going to focus on review content, and it's going to be better than any content I've ever produced in my entire life. So it doesn't have much competition, considering my old upload schedule and the amount of videos that I posted when I was younger, trying to make content just because it looked pretty easy. Nah, it takes a lot to make good content. Well, at least that I've heard. I've never produced any good content in my life. So, anyway, without further ado, I present to you my first review. A review of the game Superliminal. Oh yeah, and there will be some spoilers ahead for Superliminal, by the way. Superliminal is a game made and developed by Pillow Castle Studios and has been in the works ever since the demo for the game, known as the Museum of Simulated Technology, was released around 6 years ago now. As I said at the start of this video, Superliminal confuses me, even after playing a good 4 times since I bought it last month. The game has many mechanics that seem so simple but must be a nightmare to create. The whole sizing mechanic, duplication mechanic, and even the, well, as I put it, is this surface real or not mechanic in the last level. It all boggles my mind, and it still does now. The game prides itself in being unique, and unique it is. The only thing I've found to be comparable to the mechanics in this game is the old f-stop mechanic that was intended to be used in Portal 2, another puzzle game. The mechanics are so creative and unique that when I first played, I had a hard time adjusting to the quote-unquote complex simplicity of them. Now that sounds oxymoronic, but it is 100% the truth. They are presented in a way that seems complex to a beginner, but as time goes on and said beginner becomes more skilled at the game, the simplicity starts to show while still remaining complex. That is why I find this game amazing. It can take many things that would seem insignificant in a quote-unquote regular game and turn them into the most crucial part of the puzzle. Like the dice in the cubism level. Such a small, insignificant object to many becomes your only chance of reaching the elevator at the end of the level. Or even in the final level blank space, where literal shadows and white spaces become entryways to new rooms. Graphics? Who needs stunning, cutting-edge graphics when so much can be done with a simple and colourful, almost cartoony art style? Superliminal can be played on almost any PC, with its relatively non-demanding graphics, bar maybe the final level, yet surprisingly large file size, makes it a sizable, fun, and interesting experience for all to enjoy. Oh, and may I mention the price of this game? It's priced at £15.99, which is a rather reasonable price tag if you ask me. For the experience you get and the overall difference of the game, $15.99 is a perfect price. Superliminal also holds within it a rather simple sounding story that gets very deep and almost philosophical towards the end. The entirety of the story is told by the female AI voice that interjects when you do something that progresses the game usually.
This is an automated message for all patients who attempted to use an alternate pathway to access the next phase of somnasculpt therapy, but who have become trapped in a dream state paradox instead.
And the man behind the Somnosculpt Eyelids program in the first place, Dr. Glenn Pierce. Dr. Glenn Pierce speaks to you through a series of cassette players that you find throughout the numerous different puzzles you face. Oh yeah, and he always greets you with the same phrase of,
"Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce."
The story begins with you going through the orientation of the Somnosculpt Eyelids program. However, you go off the beaten path at the end and get into areas that are still under construction. Afterwards, you continue through all the puzzles, with Dr. Glenn Pierce interjecting to tell you that he doesn't in fact know where you are, and that you need to wake up in order to save yourself. However, Dr. Glenn Pierce eventually reveals to you that all that happened throughout the game was, in fact, intentional. You went through all these puzzles that seemed like they were not intended to be played through at certain points, yet it was all intentional from the start. This was all to teach you that despite the hardships you faced, despite the times that everything seemed like it wasn't correct, you looked at the situation from a different perspective and discovered the way to complete it from there. All you need to do to solve your issues when they seem impossible is wake up. To finish off this review, I want to touch on the finer details of Superliminal, like the fire switches and extinguishers, which are just small little interactable objects that make the game feel slightly more real, or even the loading screens. One time you'll get a standard loading screen with the bar, the next will have a loading text fly towards the screen, etc, etc. There are quite a few minute details that make the game a more interactive experience than it already is. In short, Superliminal is a wonderful game that shows just what is possible in the realm of video games. I would recommend it to anyone who just wants a new experience with a video game. Hi, glad you made it to the end of the video without clicking off. If you have any criticisms of this video at all, anything I could improve upon, anything you just didn't like, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I am new to this, and, criticism would help me improve further content and make it a lot better. In the description you will find a link to my socials, and a link to where you can buy the game as well. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, by all means, subscribe, bell notifications, all that jazz. I thank you for watching my return to YouTube with this review on this game. Yeah, goodbye.